I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, oh, baby. And
Steve Harvey's television career has been a roller coaster ride, with ups and downs that would make even the most seasoned Hollywood veteran dizzy. His shows have ranged from family-friendly staples like Family Feud to more controversial fare like his daytime talk show. But perhaps his most famous flop was his sitcom, The Steve Harvey Show, which ran for 6 seasons before being canceled in 2002. It seems that even though the show had a cult following, no one wanted to attend the cast reunion, which leads us to ask the question, why? It's not often that a celebrity has had as much success as Steve Harvey, with 7 shows on the air at the same time and a successful career in stand-up comedy. But when it comes to his cast reunion, something seems off. The turnout was dismal, and it's left everyone scratching their heads. Some are even speculating that he is a fraud. It seems like this man keeps being seen as a fraud because he might actually be one. I mean, why else would people not be excited about his reunion? Plus, he's not just a fraud, he's also a mean boss at work. Despite Steve Harvey's successful career trajectory and public image as a sage on human nature, there is mounting evidence that his persona is nothing more than a sham. Those who have worked with him have painted a picture of a tyrant who is controlling and demanding. It seems that Harvey's public persona is nothing but a carefully constructed performance. This seems to be a common thing for Steve Harvey.
I mean, Steve has always been the same. He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed at all. He's still that same guy. I think he's in a different position now.
He treats people beneath him poorly, which is evident from how nobody from his past wants to reunite with him. This isn't the first time people have doubted his true personality. Even if you don't believe what people say about him, you can't ignore all the controversies he's been in over the years. From claims of making himself unavailable to colleagues to asking them to pass off stolen content as his own, there's a lot to consider. Harvey could be seen as a real-life villain, given everything in the news about him. It's understandable why people might want to distance themselves from him. Despite valid reasons, some might still have doubts because he puts on a convincing act. But if you've been looking for confirmation of this, you need to look no further. Despite starting his career sleeping in his car, one might expect Steve Harvey to treat people better. But the reverse is the case, and some fans are starting to say he deserves to be homeless. But before we delve fully into that, let's look at how Steve Harvey got to his current position. Harvey started from nothing and built himself into a renowned brand, earning numerous awards along the way. He's become one of the most respected figures in Hollywood. Steve Harvey reached his level of success by continuously improving his skills, from his early days in stand-up comedy to his current position at the top of television. He's arguably unmatched in this regard. His show has been seen as one of the most watched for over half a decade, with celebrities frequently appearing. Moreover, people actively vie to be guests on his show, showcasing his immense influence in the entertainment industry. However, as reports in recent years have shown, what we see as reality in the entertainment industry is normally portrayed, so the perceptions of Harvey can be deceiving. Despite having hit sitcoms in the past, there's a notable absence of reunions hosted by Steve Harvey. This is unusual, especially considering the strong bonds that prompt reunions for shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Friends. It turns out that, in Steve's case, the absence of reunions may have less to do with the cast and more to do with Steve himself being the issue all along. And no one knows this better than those who've worked with him. In a recent interview with Comedy Hype, actress Terry Vaughn spilled some juicy details about Steve Harvey, suggesting that his attitude has remained consistent throughout his career.
Always been cocky.
right.
Always.
Vaughn reminisced about her time on The Steve Harvey Show, revealing that conversations on the set were often dominated by Steve's unwavering cockiness.
The conversations me, him, Wendy used to have on set, it's the same shit.
While Steve Harvey has experienced both highs and lows in his career, Vaughn hinted that his recent projects might not be connecting with audiences as strongly as they once did. Steve's co-workers aren't the only ones who've experienced his true personality. Rumor has it that he might have a mean streak, and there's evidence of this in a 2022 episode of the Smartless podcast. Kenan Thompson shared a story about his interactions with Steve Harvey. hinting at another time when Steve might not have been very nice. During the podcast with hosts Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, they talked about Keenan impersonating Steve in comedy. When Arnett said Steve was one of his favorite characters, played by Keenan, Keenan revealed that Steve didn't like it at first.
No, did he send you a note?
He didn't love it. No, I know him, so he would definitely send messages through mutual.
Even though Steve didn't initially like the impersonation, Keenan didn't give up. Instead, he kept going and even expanded on it. He adapted the impersonation to fit whatever Steve Harvey was doing next, like when Steve worked on projects such as Little Big Shots.
He does something that is, something to reflect, like whenever he steps out of Family Feud and does something.
Meanwhile, Keenan had talked about Steve's reaction to his impression in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. According to him, Steve wasn't too thrilled about it at first, but over time he grew to love it. To those within the industry, these details about Steve's life aren't surprising at all. They're old news. Many insiders view him as a terrible colleague who has also blatantly stolen their creative ideas. As mentioned earlier, Steve reportedly forces his team to present information that isn't his own. This aligns with what Cat Williams revealed in a recent episode of Club Shay Shay. Williams made an appearance and shared some shocking revelations about his relationship with Steve Harvey. He also revealed that he once challenged Steve to a comedy showdown, but Steve lost.
He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Cat Williams in Detroit. And
Williams also claimed that Steve stole some of his jokes and material, portraying him as not genuine. It seems that there may be truth in the accusations of joke theft because Williams wasn't the only victim of Harvey's joke theft. Another comedian, Mark Curry, was also involved in a situation with Harvey. Williams brought this up in his interview as well. He insinuated that Harvey plagiarized Curry's role as Mark Cooper on The Steve Harvey Show.
the same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now,
interestingly, Kat's revelation of Steve Harvey from Mark Curry wasn't the first time such an incident occurred. Previously, Mark Curry claimed that the famed host had stolen some of his jokes on his NBC talk show. The joke in question revolved around Halloween. This is the Mark Curry version from 1999.
Halloween was a trip. Halloween, we couldn't afford no Halloween costumes. Hey, kids, please. Mama sent us down to the liquor store, put boxes on us. We didn't know what we were. I don't know what we are. I don't know. She didn't tell us.
And this is the Steve Harvey version in 2019.
You've heard me say that every Halloween I had the same outfit on. Every year. I just had a brown box. I wasn't nothing sad. I asked my father, could I have a new outfit? And he said, no, just wear the same one. It was just a brown box. And he just told me to tell everybody I was a
You can see that the similarities are glaring. These are just a few instances that shed light on what Steve Harvey is like when he's not catering to his public persona. However, the damaging claims about this celebrity host don't end there. There was also a time when Steve stationed a bodyguard in front of his office at work to prevent his employees from accessing him. This action speaks volumes about how he viewed those he hired to work for him. It's like telling people you work with, I don't even want you near me. I have such disdain for you that your presence annoys me. Some years ago, a memo from Harvey to his staff also surfaced. That was during the period when he moved his daytime talk show to Los Angeles. In the memo, Steve explicitly informed his employees not to approach him. Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Read the memo. Do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment, the memo read. According to his fellow entertainers, it seems Steve's behavior towards those he considers his superiors might stem from his habit of ingratiating himself with people he wants favors from. This is something he's reportedly been doing since his radio days. Time and again, Steve Harvey has shown that he's willing to do anything for money and power. However, what he didn't anticipate was being exposed to it. According to Corey Holcomb, a fellow comedian, Harvey's entry into the television industry involved him kissing people. Holcomb revealed in an old interview that, contrary to popular belief, Steve's first TV job was obtained because he was sucking up to the owner. That's not all. Holcomb also revealed that when Steve eventually found out he was getting fired from the show, he cried live on air for that very reason. It seems some fans are shocked to discover the darker side of Steve Harvey, while others question how he even achieved fame. One person expressed confusion, wondering why he's considered a big deal and noting he's not particularly attractive or charming. Over to you, viewers. What's your take on this? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to our channel for more and check out the next video on your screen.